basically, that's the principles we have. Some important one is such as we need to forward thinking and adopt no regret policy. And those are the objectives. We have 8 objectives here. First one is to establish a legal framework and a governmental organization which is needed for this climate change adaptation policy. And what else? Such as we need to set up a climate adaptation decision-making and action system. That's also kind of what we need to change in the government. For each sector, among of the 8 sectors, we have identified those important issues for each sector here. And next, we have an overall strategy. Before we go into details for each sector. Overall strategy is here. The first one is to implement. It's important to implement the national territorial planning and management. And then we need to enhance our disaster prevention and avoidance capacities. And we need to carry out comprehensive river basin governance. This has been talked about for many years. And we need to prioritize the high-risk regions for climate change, such as the coastal area, and then to enhance prevention and protection capacity for adaptation. Next, we are going to present the adaptation strategy sector by sector. We have 8 sectors. And the first sector is disaster, nature disaster. Under each sector, we have objectives and a strategy. And of course, I don't need to read all of them. Okay. But maybe let's go over this one first. For nature disaster, we put it as the first first sector. Maybe that's because it is the most important one in Taiwan. When we want to implement, the objective is to implement the disaster risk evaluation, and by implementing the disaster risk evaluation and comprehensive adaptation policies to reduce the disaster risks caused by climate change, and to strengthen the overall adaptive capacity for disaster prevention and avoidance. Here, in this adaptation policy framework, we emphasize to enhance our adaptive capacity. That's because we cannot avoid climate change. We cannot risk to be a risk-free society. But only thing we need to do and we should do is to enhance our capacity to adapt to the climate change. Okay, and under this sector, we have those strategies. We have 6 strategies. Okay, of course, we need to. I do not need to read all of them, but here you can see this one: carrying out comprehensive river basin management. That's it's very important in Taiwan, but it's not. The job is not finished yet. Okay, the second sector is infrastructure. Okay, those are the objectives. Still, we need to raise to enhance our capacity to adapt the climate change and ensure that its function of those infrastructures can be maintained. Okay, those are the adaptation strategies for infrastructure. And the third sector is water resources. The objective is to ensure the sustainability of the nation's river water system and maintain a balance between supply and demand for water. Because we know from the impacts or from the forecast of climate change for Taiwan, we know that we are going to have heavy rain, but for certain days or for certain events, but for the rest of the year, maybe we have fewer rain. So that means we are going to face flooding and drought at the same time. So that's very important to balance between supply and demand of water. How to use the rainwater effectively. So that's the strategies for our river, our water resources. Okay. There are four. The first one is to say that sustainability is the highest guiding principle for water resource management and forecasting, and we need to protect our aqua environment. The fourth sector is land use. Land use is also a very important one. The objective is to incorporate climate change adaptation strategies into relevant laws, regulations, and procedures at all levels of land use planning. Right now, we can see this kind of change in our land use planning system. Those are the strategies for land use planning or land use control. The first one, just like we need to incorporate the concept of environmentally sensitive area into the national management of national conservation area, and to legislate and revise our national spatial plan for the Great Pond. Okay, the fifth sector is coastal zone. We need to minimize our environmental problems due to inappropriate plans and human development in coastal zones. So we have a lot of this kind of inappropriate development. So we need, in order to mitigate coastal hazards and make the coastal environment sustainable. So that's the strategies for coastal zones. And the next one is energy supply and industries, or industry and energy supply. So we need, the objective is to develop a system for energy supply and the related industries that can respond to the impacts of climate change. Energy supply is very important for the well-being of the nation, citizens. So we have 5 strategies under this sector. The first one is to reduce climate change risk and strengthen our adaptive capacity. That's still similar strategy in other sectors, and providing support for industry in response to climate change. Okay, so that's the next one is agriculture and biodiversity. Objective is to develop an agricultural production system that will be sustainable and intensive and sufficiently resistant and resilience and to the effects of climate change, and the next one is to preserve the nation's biodiversity. So it's a very clear objective. Those are the strategies for agriculture. We have 4 strategies for agriculture, and those are the strategies for biodiversity. We put these 2 under same sector. That's because that's our Council for Agriculture is responsible for these 2 functions. biodiversity strategy for biodiversity. The first one is to enhance the connection and the management of blue and green belt networks. Blue networks and green belt networks. Okay. So that's the last one is public health. We want to modify our compiling system of for environmental and health information in order to improve the citizens' health condition. Those are the strategies for public health. The first one is to enforce the laws and the regulation, of course. That means sometimes we cannot fully enforce the laws. Okay. The next part is about action plan. So, action plan. We have a policy framework, and following the policy, the strategies listed in the framework. Then, at this moment, the task force is working on formulating the action plan for each sector. So, CBD first established a standard operating procedure for agencies to executing climate change adaptation policy action plan. The implementation mechanism is very important for the successful implementation of the action plan and of the policy framework and the action plan. So we, the executive think that we need to legislate a piece of climate change framework law, a piece of a law, a new law for climate change framework law. And then we need to restructure our government agencies, for the management of climate change. Not only adaptation, but also mitigation. Okay. So we need to strengthen our main agency concerned with climate change policies. Yeah. Almost every ministry is concerned with climate change. So how to do that? How to integrate, how to make every ministry work together for this framework, policy framework is a way to do it, but we still need to have restructure our government agency to work, to make them work together. Okay, so now we have an action plan, we have a planning stage, and implementation, and evaluation, and feedback stages. Now we are working on the planning stage. And then next we are going to do some, this is our guidelines for the research and development for climate change adaptation, and education guidelines, and public participation and community involvement. Okay, that's it. Thank you. And finally, if you like to read the text of this policy model, you can find out from CEPD's website. And we are going to put our English version of this framework on the website soon.
Thank you very much. I will explain what is CEPD. CEPD stands for Council of Economic Planning and Development. I think this agency will make this policy framework work because they are responsible for the government spending on particularly major constructions. So if you don't follow or don't consider such policy suggestions, that your project may be turned down. And I'd like to mention, only about 2 years ago, our president turned down a major petrochemical industry park because of climate change issues and the sustainability issues. So this piece of information is not just for research or education, it really will work. Thank you very much. And another presentation will be given by Professor Mr. Zhu. Yes, Mr. Lin is not able to come because of most probably because a typhoon is approaching. So tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, probably there will be a typhoon. So whenever there are natural disasters, possibility, the agency will be, they will work 6 days plus 1, and day and night. Thank you very much, Mr. Zhu.
Hello everyone. Actually today is the retreat meeting of NCDR, so all the supervisors has to gather together to discussing about the future of NCDR. So they are not at home, so that's why I'm here. So I got a PhD degree from the Department of Earth Science, NTNU. So I'm very glad to have the opportunity to come back to school and give a presentation here. And today I will talk about the introduction of Taiwan climate change projection and information platform question, say TCCIP. And here is the outline. First of all, I'll give a short introduction about something. And what's more is the role of TCCIP, and some overview will be demonstrated. Finally, the summary. And let me start from this case, typhoon model. I think everybody in Taiwan knows about it. Here is some pictures about Xiaolin Village and Jinkai Village before and after the typhoon Morocco comes visit Taiwan. And what we can see is that before there's a beautiful view here, but after typhoon Morocco comes, it's a tragedy actually. And many people died in this event. And when we go to investigate the rainfall, we found that the accumulated rainfall between 5 days accumulate more than 2,000 to 3,000 millimeters. It's very close to the world record, like here in 1 day and 2 days. And here is the other example about Sanlafi typhoon in 2010. Here's the observation about Gangshan Station, the rainfall. 600 millimeters accumulated rainfall during 6 hours was found at this station. So that will lead to a flood, large area flood here. And here's some pictures. And the other case is Typhoon Maybe in 2010 also. Also, we found 100 millimeter over 4 hours. It's a very heavy rainfall actually, and it caused some landslide in Suao Highway during this case. And in my memory, some tourists from mainland China encountered this disaster actually. And so, based on some scenario of climate change, we found that this kind of extreme event tends to happen frequently. So how to respond to this kind of extreme event is a big challenge. So in addition to discussion of mitigation, adaptation, or sustainability, I think to know what happens of climate change in Taiwan is also important. And at this point, I think TCCIP can tell you something. Here is the structure of TCCIP. It's a project funded by National Science Council and organized and implemented by NCDR. So some university and Central World Bureau and academic syndicates are also involved in. And for the international cooperation, we try to contact to Kakushin program in Japan, and we got some high resolution actually the 20 kilometer for the resolution of spatial the GCM data. And also we download the data from IPCC for 24 GCM simulations as the base of our project. And the result of our research and some products will be applied to the disaster reduction and water resource management for the phase 1. For the phase 2 is 2013 to 2015. Maybe we are considering to extend the application to another field. So maybe right now they are thinking about it. So here is the role of TCCIP in Taiwan. And we found that there are 4 main projects of climate change in Taiwan. The first one is the NAPF, just like introduced by Professor Shaw, is from the Council for Economic Planning and Development. And the next one is the Adaptation Technology Project from NSC. And the other one is water-related disaster impact adaptation by WRA. And TCCIP plays different roles among them. For example, we make some suggestions for policymakers for the NAPF, and we have some support and integrate some technology to adaptation technology project. And also we generate our data to WRA as for some application of water resources. And here's the overview of TCCIP. What we can see is that the observation and some global model projection data are obtained from IPCC and Coefficient Program. And also for the regional rainfall data, we got this kind of observation from CWB. And we have 3 teams. The first one is focused on the climatology analysis. And team 2 is focused on downscaling system, development of downscaling system. And team 3 is some impact assessment. So we only focus on the East Asia and especially in Taiwan area. All the product and information will be uploaded to a platform, say information application platform, and everybody can check it from the website. Now is the introduction of Team 1, and here is the staging gauges. We gathered all the staging data from different institutes in Taiwan, for example, CWB and Irrigation Association and some WRA. So here's the spatial distribution of the rain gauge. It covers almost whole Taiwan. Although some mountain area, there's no record. So we try to make this data homogeneous. So we have several states to make some quality control. The raw data, the number of raw data is more than 1,400 something. And after the quality control, we only have extract 1,200 station data to make some application. And also we conduct the so-called Taiwan Rainfall Index. And this product can be extended, one of the versions can be extended to Qing Dynasty. So we try to make it more easily to be used, except some field which is not a meteorology field. And at this part, Professor Hong Zhiwen in Geophysics department put more effort on it. And here is some analysis of Taiwan climatology. This part is the temperature, and here is the rainfall. What we can see is that the temperature is rising, as we know, and even the magnitude and the day with the warming day. And what is more interesting is in the rainfall. Here is the total rainfall amount, where you can see that there is a trend tendency of increasing. But the rain day, the day decreasing. And it implies that maybe some heavy rainfall will occur frequently. And here is another product of DTCIP, say gridded format data archive. What we have is with the resolution of 1 kilometer and 5 kilometers, monthly mean precipitation and temperature, something like that. And actually, this is the first time in Taiwan to have this high resolution rainfall and temperature record. And from 1960 to 2009. And at this part, Professor Wong Zhuping in geography department put more effort on it. And here's some example of the product. And here's the introduction of Team 2. Team 2 is mainly focused on some module of downscaling the development of this kind of modules. Here is some explanation of statistical downscaling. Let me skip it. And here is the result. We just calculated some change rate of precipitation from the 2024 IPCC models projections. And here's the result of median. What we can see by months, what we can see is that the rainfall is getting decreased in some months, and especially in dry months. But in wet season, we have more rainfall. But when we zoom in to Taiwan area, we can see the signal more clear. Say from January to April or even May, we can find a rare rainfall, which is in dry season. But in the change rate for the wet season, we found more rainfall in the future. And here is also the Taiwan area, but with higher resolution based on the product I mentioned before, the 1 kilometer or 5 kilometer resolution. And we got similar results actually. And the above mentioned is for statistical downscaling, and the other one is dynamic downscaling. And for the statistical downscaling, Professor Chen-Da Chen played an important role on it. And for downscaling, dynamic downscaling, here is the setting domain of this downscaling. We have ECAM5 and WORF and MRI and WORF regional model. Here's the result. Let me speed up. Actually, dynamic downscaling, after the WORF model, some climatology characteristics of Taiwan can be simulated better than a general circulation model. And here is the result of change rate of the temperature. So we got a higher temperature actually in the future. And here is the precipitation. And the distribution of precipitation is different from not so consistent, not so coherent with the temperature. Okay, and here is another example. And for Team 3 is impact assessment. We have some example in Zhengwen River, and it can be divided two parts. Here is requires a heavy rainfall, and here requires some input of monthly rainfall. And some result is that the change rate of stream flow in wet and dry season in different scenario is the A1B larger than B1 larger than A2. But for the multimodal ensemble, the signal is not